Good morning, everybody. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, I'm not in such a great way today, but I'm all right. This little injury is turning out to not be so good. So I got a big patch on my shoulder right now, and I got this thing, and yeah, and I'm checking to see when I can get an MRI on my shoulder. So anyway, what's going on, everybody? Today is what? Today is the 20th of April. I don't even know what it is. It's the 20th of April. All day long here, 9 o'clock in the morning. Good morning, good morning. What's happening, Jim? Yeah, today we're going to talk about the top. We got a lot to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about the top countries. Oh, man. That people want to call home. And guess what? The United States is not on there, and neither is Thailand. And this has nothing to do with money. This is just where do they want to live? So we're going to go over that. We also got the news to go over, and I got a couple of comments to go over. So yes, and we might as well get into it a little bit here, but right now the Thai baht is 33.35 to the dollar, which is all right. Hey Carlos, what's happening? How you doing? 33.35, which is not great, but I'll take it. Whatever. It is what it is. As long as it doesn't go down to like 25, I'll be all right. The air quality today is only 27. It's very good today. But the temperatures, oh my God. Let me tell you something. Just going from where I got dropped off into the coffee shop, and I was like, man, this is like, you're like in a sauna. Right now it is 32 degrees Celsius, which is about, I changed it, so it's a little bit hotter. Fahrenheit, I think it's around 98. Oh, no. 32 Celsius, which is 89.96 Fahrenheit. The high is 36 Celsius, or 95 Fahrenheit. The low is 29 Celsius, or 84 Fahrenheit. And the feel-like temperature right now is 36, which is like 97 degrees. And the feel-like temperature in Fahrenheit is 97. And there is a heat warning out because I guess next week, this coming week, on Friday, temperature's supposed to be 37, at least 37, all the way up to 45 degrees, the feel-like temperature. So it's going to be a hot one. Sometimes you got to switch from left to right when hey, what can I say? I get my wife involved now. I didn't want to wear this thing, but I just keep I just keep moving it too much, and then it hurts like hell. And yesterday I wore it in the morning, and then I come home and I'm wearing it, and then I take it off and I start rubbing. I got this stuff, Salon Pause, and I got the Dipholine, and I start using the Salon Pause, which has lidocaine in it, and I start rubbing it in there, and I took 2 Norgesic, and I put the lidocaine, the Salon Pause on there, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, I'm gonna have to get a different brace because this one is not very good, and I might be in this thing for about 2 weeks, 2 more weeks. It's just miserable, man. I mean, really, I don't want to complain about it, but you get an injury like this, I don't know how it happened. That's the thing. And that tells me I'm old and not in good enough shape. And I look at my muscle tone now and I'm like, I'm losing muscle, so I know I'm getting old. But, you know, I go to the gym, now I can't go to the gym. I mean, what am I going to do? Okay, I can go and do legs, or I can, you know, there's some things I can do, but it ain't going to do any good for my upper body. I can't do anything upper body. I can't swim. I can't, you know. So whatever, it is what it is. You got to deal with it. But for about 6 hours yesterday, I was like, holy shit, I can move my arm. I was like, wow. Maybe it was the pain medicine, and maybe it was the Salon Pause that I rubbed on there. I just rubbed it in this morning, and it still hurts. So I think this is the answer, or a shoulder brace is the answer. So that's really all I can do. And then I already emailed the doctor, the guy who worked on my hip. I emailed him to ask if he could take a look at me, and he said yes. So I don't know. I have to find out, when is he going to be in Bangkok? Is he only going to be in Chiang Mai? What's the deal? Can I get everything done? How much is it? Okay, whatever. My insurance isn't going to cover this, I can tell you that. So whatever. I gotta pay. But right now, all I know is that it's got to be a rotator cuff injury, and I know exactly where it is because it's right here and then straight back on my back. And you know, there's only so many things it can be. So it's not like I cracked a bone or something like that, you know. So whatever, I'll get through it. It's not a whole lot of fun though, because I am starting to do things left-handed. I am starting to become left-handed, and I guess I should try that, but you know, I don't want to get into that. Yeah. Well, I can do a one-handed push-up. I can. Now I can't do like I used to, but I can do one or two. Yeah, I don't know that it's a full tear. You know. I mean, there's certain motions I can do that don't hurt that much, and there are certain motions that I do and they hurt like hell. I mean, just moving it out straight, you know, it's just too much, man. You know, that's the way it goes. Anyway, you know, I think about this and I think this is something. Well, God, that's another thing. Forget about it, man. I mean, the bum gun, pouring water down your ass or something like that, it's just not. It takes some doing. So I got to be prepared when I go in. Got to be. It's not a frozen shoulder. It's a tear. There's a difference. I just want to make sure, but anyway, you know, it is what it is. I can only hope it's a frozen shoulder. You know, pretty much everybody that I know has bad shoulder. I think, Billy, you have a bad shoulder, right? My mother and father both have bad shoulders. My father can barely put his shirt on. He needs my mother's help to put a pullover shirt on. My wife, she said her shoulder, and I remember this now, her shoulder was messed up for like a year. And it's still not 100%, it's about 90%. But, and then I had two boxers, I took them in for surgery. They had to have surgery in Bumrungrad. Oh, God. But I do remember you having a shoulder issue. That has nothing to do with what we don't really want to talk about here. All right. Now, I'm going to get to this comment here because I saw this comment. I just went, you know, some people, I don't think they really know what the deal is here in Thailand. You know, because I did the video, do Thai women think you're a walking, talking ATM? Now, All women don't think that, of course. Let's just get that right there out in the open. I mean, you can say, oh yeah, they all think that way. Well, the truth is not all of them do. They don't. Now, some of them may, and some of them are straight up about it. They're like, hey, you don't have money, I don't want you. And some of those girls are working girls, prostitutes. So I did this video and this guy says, so if a Thai woman is with a Thai partner, is the same financial demands expected and the same amount? Just curious. Oh yeah, I don't want to be handcuffed. I cannot do this with, I didn't have real good flexibility behind my arm, behind my back with my shoulder. This one I can't put behind my back at all now. I mean, I'd be screaming. Anyway, so the guy asked about the Thai woman and, and what I said was, Thai women in the relationships with Thais, not necessarily with foreigners, because this is not how it works with me, but the Thai women usually take care of the money in their relationship. And in addition to the men possibly giving them a dowry, the women expect the men to pay the lion's share. She does not always say, I'm going to pay for everything. Honey, you don't have to pay for a thing. I mean, that's just not how they work, okay? And then I said, just like with foreigners, it depends, though, on the woman's expectations and what can be negotiated between the two people. I mean, putting my arms behind my back in handcuffs were, yeah, I know. If I had to do that, I would be screaming bloody murder. So the idea now is not to get handcuffed. So this other guy writes, and he says, how does it work? And this is a good question, I admit. How does a working class Thai man have anything left over to give her family? Mathematically impossible. Now, another guy chimes in, oh, that's what I'm saying. A decent income for a Thai is what, $25,000 a month? Okay. We know there are poor Thais out there. Yes, there are. However, the middle class has been emerging. The lower middle class, the upper middle class has been emerging the last decade. Okay? And I'm going to give the breakdown of this because I don't think people really know just how many, what the percentages break down to. So let me, I got to get to a little place here. A little bit hard to type, but all right. Oh. All right, so let me see here. Yeah, this is what I thought. Okay. Okay, so let me just give you the monthly ranges. And this is not Bangkok, this is not Pattaya, this is all of Thailand. Okay? The low income, the poor, that's about 10 to 15,000. There's 20 to 25% of the Thai population that fits into that category, okay? The lower middle class is generally 15 to 30,000 baht. And there's about 25% that earn that much. So you're talking about, that's 50% of the population is earning anywhere from 25, 30,000 and below. Okay, now, middle class is somewhere around 30 to 50,000, and that's about 30%. And that's it. For most Thais, anybody making 50,000 a month, they're doing okay. They're not doing great. They're not like, well, I'm going to save $2,000 a month, or I'm going to save 40,000 baht a month and live off of 10,000. Most of them are not doing that unless they're living at home, or they're living with somebody who doesn't make them pay rent or something like that. And that happens sometimes. Now, the upper middle class makes anywhere, it depends on, who you're listening to. But The upper middle class makes 50 to 100,000 baht, and even up to, say, 150,000 baht. That is 15 to 20% of the population. And then 5 to 10% of the population earn over that. And I was thinking on the way over here about this, okay? When you think about all the universities in Thailand, and you think about how many kids go to university and to private schools, not necessarily private international schools, because I can tell you that's damn expensive. That's going to cost you somewhere around 25,000. For 2 kids, it's going to cost you about 25,000, 30,000 a year. That's dollars. So that's not really, for a lot of people, it's not in their budgets. Many times. But they will send them to bilingual schools, which is what we did. And if they're going to a college, yeah, some may go to Ramkhamhaeng or somewhere like that because it's not that expensive. But I can tell you, because having 2 kids in college, it ain't cheap. Now, it's cheaper than in the U.S., granted. But when you think about all the people paying to go to school, and, you know, I'm not saying that people don't tighten their bootstraps and try to, you know, maybe they've got 80,000 a month and they're paying 40,000 sometimes for the kid, and they've got to save up the money, and, you know. But when you think about that, you think that, okay, you're dealing with people every day. Like when I come into the mall, all right, I'm looking at the guy now, he's the boss, he's the regional boss. I don't know, and I'm not going to ask him, but I would say he's earning anywhere, he's probably earning about 30,000 a month. The other people here are making anywhere from 10 to 20,000 a month. Okay, and the girls at Starbucks before were making around 15,000, 20,000 a month. Now that's not a whole lot. When you're single, if you're going to live off, say, 20, 25,000 a month, think about it. You got to get an apartment, it's 5,000 baht. It's a cheap apartment. Now, you can find them, but you got to really look. And a lot of people, they don't want to really look. I mean, really, truly look. It may take you a month of just solid looking every day, all over the place, online, in papers, anywhere you can find them, walking around. So somebody who's making 20,000 baht a month, now think about eating. Think about some chick. All right, maybe she spends 150 baht. She spends 150 baht a day on food. 200 baht a day on food. Let's just say 5,000 on food. She's spending 5,000 on rent, 5,000 on food. She's spending on electricity, water, probably internet, phone. So she has enough money, but she doesn't have all that much left over. Well, you can't say that anymore. In the past, it used to be that the women stayed home. I don't know what the percentage breakdown is. But I'm going to look. All right, 59% of Thai women aged 15 and older participate in the labor force, meaning they are employed or actively seeking work. 41% of Thai women are not part of the labor force. This group includes housewives, students, retirees, and others not engaged in paid employment. There may be approximately 18% of Thai women who are housewives who rely solely on their husband's income, which, if they've got their own money, then, you know, it's no problem. If they got plenty of money sitting in the bank, they don't have to touch it, and they got to, you know, the husband's giving her an allowance or something like that, and she's saving her money, then she doesn't have much to worry about. hey, if he leaves me, he's been giving me 25,000 a month, and I've been saving 20,000 of it. Now I got 2 million baht sitting in the bank. They don't have much to worry about. But these are just estimates, and you don't really know sometimes what the deal is. But people are not as poor as you think here. That's my point. They're not quite as poor as you think. So, I wrote down here what, like if you want to stay very poor, that's considered 7,000 baht or less. And this is a different survey. Working class, low income, urban, 7,000 to 15,000. And that would be like some of the employees working here. You think the people who are cleaning up the bathrooms here are making, 50,000 baht a month? They're not. They're making peanuts, but they are a small percentage, really, compared to the total. My sister-in-law? Well, I don't know. How many sister-in-laws do I have? I have 2 sister-in-laws. And I don't have, and I have a brother-in-law. And they all work. And the girls, they make about 30,000 baht a month. And now they're just working on the farm, and then they pick up work. They work on the rubber farms. They have rubber themselves, and then they also have other people who need somebody to work on the rubber farm, so they work for a percentage of the rubber, of the money that the rubber generates. So they're earning that 30,000, but they get a little bit more from other stuff. So, you might say they're lower middle class or middle class, upper middle class, whatever you want to say, but the very low end of upper middle class. And so that's what I mean. I mean, think about it. My wife's sister has a big Ford truck. I mean, like a dually. Big truck. She's paying big money for that thing. Oh, God. So the point is that some people in Thailand actually make some money, and most people they seem to think that most of Thailand is agricultural and poor, and they're not. You think these people that are operating tour companies, I mean like really good tour companies, solid tour companies that offer tours all the time, that the owners are only making 20, 30,000 baht a month? That's not what they're earning. You think the people who have nice little, there's a place on the corner of one of the soys in my village, and the guy is completely packed every single day. There's no way in hell that guy is making, 30,000 baht, even 50,000 baht. That guy's probably making 150, 200,000 baht a month. He's jam-packed every single day. And, it's been like that for years. That guy almost never takes a day off. I mean, he takes like Songkran off, and he'll take, when there's a holiday, maybe he'll take the holiday. But most of the time, he's working. Oh, I mean, that's the thing. And this is what I mean. Don't be fooled. I once heard, I don't know if it's still true. Yes, I would say it's a little bit cheaper in the South. The other thing is that a lot of them, they live together. And they want to live together. Some of them want to live together. They live together, and then what they do is they go out and they spend 300 baht and buy a bunch of chicken, sticky rice, and some samtam, or, whatever it is, some South Thai food, some curry or whatever. They get that from the market, then they come home, and then they spread it all out. The women generally get everything ready, and then everybody comes and eats, and there's plenty of food. So that's like a meal for like 5 to 10 people. So that's how they make it work. They don't make it work because they're a single person living off of 20,000 baht a month, and then they're like, oh, I'm flush. I got, that's not how it works. There are little tricks, and this is the thing. This is why you say, could a single American man who just came to Thailand live off of 20,000 baht? Now he could, if he knew how. You could get a room for 3,500 baht if you really want, but it's not much of a room. You know, you could eat off of 150 baht a month. You might be hungry sometimes. You know, you can do it. So when somebody says, oh, can you live off of $500 a month? Yeah, you probably could. You probably could if you watched every single satang. You could probably make it work. But that's not feasible for most people. Because most foreigners who come in, I mean, listen, like me, I mean, I don't want to live off of that. I don't want to live off of that kind of money. And I haven't in a long, long time. I don't want to. I like coming to the grocery. You know, today I know I have to go to the grocery. You know why? There's no cheese in the house. We don't have cheese. And I know my kids, they got sandwich meat, they want cheese. And I need cheese for my burgers or for whatever the hell it is. So I'll go and buy some cheese. You know. Well, that's what a lot of Thais do. I mean, let's face it, 15%, 20%, 30%, that's what they live off of. I like how people tell me I'm wrong. Be careful when you say that I'm wrong. There may be other answers. You stay too much in Bangkok. You are in wrong perception. No, I'm not. I'm not in the wrong perception. What I said was this is overall in Thailand. And people in the villages make less money than people in Bangkok. Okay? So let's just get that straight. And Bangkok is a little bit higher in price than many other places. So that's why if you're in 25,000 and you're a single guy, you're not going to be flush with cash and you're going to be dating all kinds of women. You take a chick out to a movie, I mean, what's it going to cost you? Maybe 500 baht, 1,000 baht? It's going to cost you more than 500 baht. Might cost you 600-700 baht, and then you get some popcorn, it's 1,000 baht. Then what else are you going to do? You going to take her out somewhere? I lived in Isan. Okay? I know what it's like. And you say that all these people are struggling. Here's the thing. Do they have a truck? Do they have internet? Do they have a motorcycle? Do they have TV? Do they have cable? Many of them do. Some don't. I understand that. You know. Did I say 150 baht a day? I'm sorry. But I'm telling you, you go to Isan, and yeah, there's a lot of cheap food, a lot of cheap stuff. It's cheaper than in Bangkok. And some people are not earning that much money. Some people are just getting money. There are people out there, they're not working. They're 50 years old. They don't work. All they do is stay home, piddle around the home, and their daughter sends them money. Well, they can't do it for long, I can tell you that. They might be able to do it for a couple of months, but that's it. So, I mean, I know what it's like in the villages. I've been to many, many villages, and I've lived in a village. And I know what it's like. But, you know, I mean, at the end, I was paying for cable. I had internet. I had everything. Yeah, you're talking about a tourist zone. I mean, listen, get out of the tourist zone. But, okay. It costs money to live. And you may not always want to live in the village. Jim lives in the village. I know Jim doesn't only eat food in the village. He goes out and gets food from elsewhere. He goes to the grocery store. That's what normal Thais who have money, that's what they do. What do you think the grocery stores are all set up for? What do you think they're all set up for? What do you think that the universities are set up for? They're set up for people who make 5,000 baht, 10,000 baht a month? No, they're not. And that's why I used to wonder, how are all these foreigners, I mean, all these Thais, how are they coming into Starbucks and buying drinks? Well, let me tell you something. My wife, she goes out to dinner with her team or with a couple of people or with the hotels probably 3 nights a week. Okay? Now, she may not be paying for all of it, but if she has to pay, she doesn't have a problem paying for it. Now, she's not in the lower portion of the, of the earnings. She's definitely not. And we are very lucky, very, fortunate because of her, because of me, because of the positions we're both in now. That's great. But for the most part, I mean, everybody I know who I'm really good friends with, they generally earn at least 50,000 baht a month and up to 200,000 baht a month. I know a lot of people that are earning good money. I understand that. But they are not the only people in Thailand, and they are not the majority. That's about 25% of the people. Maybe 25% of the people are dirt poor. Maybe 25 of the people they're secure, but they don't have all that much money. And then, the rest of the place, yeah, but you can't average it out. That's the thing. When you average it out, it doesn't come out correctly. Because you're looking at all the poor people and saying, oh, well, poor Thailand is so poor. No, I don't look at it that way. I look at it like Thailand has poor people just like every other country has poor people. And they have a lot of rich people that run the show. You figure, you're figuring, if they make 25,000 baht a month. Now, if you got 4 people living in the house, everybody's making 25,000, they got 100,000 in the house. They're all living together. Okay, they split all the bills. They live good. They can even save money. They don't have a problem with that. But they have to live together. Once they split up and they're on their own, that's a different story. But think about it, how many of those farmers have trucks, have money in the bank? I guarantee you probably 30% of them have a fair amount in the bank, and they've got a vehicle or 2. I understand they're going to be in debt, but a lot of people are in debt. Look at people in the United States. They carry debt. And Thailand, I will say this, Thailand has a bad problem with debt. They carry a lot of debt, And I told my wife the other day, I go, honey, you know that you are in the upper 10% of the people who earn money in Thailand. You're very lucky. And she's like, I worked for it. She did. Now, some people, they fall into shit and things happen. They make money. Some people get completely lucky. Some people, it takes them years and years and years. But you look at this place, you look at the mall, people coming in. There are people of all stratus coming in here. There are people who don't have much money. There are kids, they might have a couple hundred baht to their name. And there are rich people. I go to every day that I go to the grocery, I already said that. Do you understand that? I already said that. So, I don't know what you're arguing about. You're arguing about how the Thai people in Isan are poor. Well, yeah, some are and some aren't. Many are. I understand that. But many aren't. There are some that are not that poor. There are some that, listen, I know some that they have multiple houses, which is not necessarily, something telling of extreme wealth here, but they may have a house in Isan, they may have a house somewhere else, and they may have a house in Bangkok. They may have 2 cars. So, yeah, exactly. Let me just tell you something. I know a nurse. I know several nurses, but I haven't kept up with some of them. I know a nurse, and she was very intelligent, okay? Goofy, young. At the time, she was young. I still follow her. I talk to her every once in a great while, but nothing. I mean, there's nothing there. We're just friends. But she was a nurse for me for a long time. And she told me, oh, I'm getting my master's degree so that I can become this kind of a nurse or that kind of a nurse. I said, oh, okay. So what? Americans have debts. Many places in the world have debt. It's your responsibility to get out of debt. And I know it isn't easy for the farmers. I know that. Sometimes it's their own doing that makes them poor. Sometimes they shouldn't be spending money, and they do spend it because they want to, because they feel they need to, because they feel the family needs it. Whatever it is, I understand that. Nobody's perfect. I mean, that's how it is. But this nurse that I know, now she's got her master's degree. Now she's probably earning $70,000 a month. And she's got a doctor, that was her boyfriend, a doctor, and the doctor's probably making $150,000, $200,000. Between both of them, they have a very, very, very nice house. And they're always traveling. And I guarantee you they are saving money, putting money away. They don't have the same need than Western people. The majority are a landowner. I don't know what you're getting at. I don't know what your point is. Maybe you live in Isan, I don't know. When I first came to Thailand, I thought everybody in Thailand was poor. Now I don't. I understand. There are poor people and there are rich people everywhere in the world. If they are poor, if I'm poor, if somebody else is poor, well, I understand, but you have to try to get yourself out of that. And if they are in debt, well, then you pay the debt off, and then hopefully by the time that you pay the debt off, you're not in debt anymore. Well, there you go. I mean, really, we got started on this. I didn't mean to really get into this too much. So let me just tell you what I told the guy, the prices and, everything else like that. But the guy was like, oh, yeah, well, they're getting like $25,000 a month. Oh, that's a decent income. It's not a decent income. That's like barely enough. If you want to have a life, remember, they live here. How are they going to go anywhere? Are they ever going to travel to America on $25,000? No, they might have to borrow money. They might have to save up for 2 years. Okay, maybe even more. So that they can go somewhere. So that they have the money to show that they're capable of going and coming back. So that's not really a decent income. That's the median income, and it's generally not enough to lead a prosperous single life. And especially if you're caring for a wife and if she's got a kid, you guys got a kid together, well, that's not enough money. I mean, you go to some people's houses, and that will tell you everything. I went to a girl's parents' house in Royet province. They both had nicer houses than me. That's what I mean. Yes, but they have debt. Well, you don't always know that. They might not have debt. It's like saying this one other guy said, yeah, money isn't everything. That's for sure. But where is this guy? He said something about the girls in Isan. Is this the guy? Where is he? I can't see where the shit, you know that? Dude, let me tell you something. If they're earning 350 baht a day, they are earning minimum wage. Those are the lowest in society. There are always going to be people earning that. There are Burmese earning that at the market. So you're saying that, but so what does that mean? It doesn't mean much. That's not medium. I can tell you that right now. 350 baht a day is not medium. That's ridiculous. That's poor. Complete horse shit what you're spewing. 350 baht is minimum wage, and I don't even think that's minimum wage in Bangkok now. I think they raised it, but it depends on what the province is. 372 baht. In January 1st, 2025, it went up 2.5%. Yeah, well, my arm might take a while, buddy. I hate to tell you that. But thank you. All right, so where's this? Let me just read this real quick, and then I'll get on to what I want to talk about. Oh, here we go. The Thai girl from Isan is the biggest red flag. You can take a girl out of Isan. You can't take Isan from the girl. It's all about money, guys. Don't be stupid. Your love success rate is so low. Most of them are in business. Thai women with education is less risky choice. Find a Thai woman with education. Okay. What about an educated Isan girl? That's my question. Many Isan women have no education, will do damn near anything for money, and that's why I've always said, find a woman with an education and a job and you'll be better off. If you want some woman who is simply with you for money, then you have an orphan, not a girlfriend. And then he says, yes, it is correct that most Isan women with no education will do anything for the money. Therefore, Farang must find a woman with education and job. Okay, just because she's an Isan woman doesn't mean she's a whore. We gotta get that straight. Just because she's a whore doesn't mean she's a bad girl. And just because she's a regular working girl, like who works in an office, doesn't mean she's a good girl. Jesus Christ. All right, let's talk about the top countries and all that other good stuff. If we can do that. Oh, I wanted to talk about the news, what happened. The news in Pattaya, well, two things happened well, there's always things happen in Pattaya, but a couple of things happened in Pattaya. One was, and I'm sure some of you have seen this already, the clip of the guy who was taunting the bouncer. He and his friend had their shirts off, and he's taunting the bouncer. Come on, come on, come on, come get me. You want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? He's taunting this guy, saying, come on, let's fight. Apparently, he had been harassing people all night, and he poured beer over the guy's head. The guy restrained himself. He didn't want to fight, but then the guy came out. He was out in the middle of the street with his buddy. He started taunting the Thai guy, and the Thai guy... Now, here's the thing. Yeah, that's a mistake. Why do you want to taunt a Thai person? For what? Why do you want to taunt anybody? That's stupid. The next thing that happened was the Thai guy walked up on him. He let him get within range, within punching range. He let the Thai guy get right in his face, and he didn't back up. Now, I would have backed up. I would have took a couple steps back to where the guy couldn't hit me. Then if the guy came at me again, bam, you hit him. You know. So, of course, what happened was the guy didn't move back, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. People started surrounding them, and the Thai guy just basically just cracked him with a right hand, and the guy went down, and then all these Thais jumped on him and started kicking him, beating the hell out of him, and his buddy. And I'm like, well, you deserved it. Now, you know, I understand you don't deserve to have your all your teeth knocked out and bones broken and shit like that. That's a little extreme. But you definitely deserve to get knocked on your ass. And then maybe the next day when you wake up with a shiner, you go, oh gosh, what did I do last night? And then what you do is, if you're half a man, you go back the next night, not drunk, and you say, no, I come in peace. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to do what I did. I shouldn't have done. They took it easy on him. They could have beat the living piss out of him. And there were girls jumping in, and I mean, you know. Anyway, that's one thing that happened. The other thing that happened apparently on April 15th, which is now almost a week ago, a foreign man was left bleeding on a Pattaya sidewalk after being struck in the face with a water gun following a dispute when he asked fellow tourists not to spray him due to a fresh tattoo. Now, this guy made the mistake. He was driving by on a motorbike, and I guess he lifted up his hand and said, no, don't splash me. And they splashed him anyway. And then he got cracked, maybe with the water gun, maybe with a punch, I don't know. He had a big cut under his eye. And on his back, he had a tattoo that had a fresh tattoo, and it was covered up with the plastic. Now, if you are out during Songkran, first of all, you need to ask yourself, why are you out? What are you out for? Oh, I'm going to go to my friend's house. Well, then you take the route where there's the least amount of people, and you're not going to get wet. Yeah, that guy was stupid. Okay, because he kept getting in the bouncer's face. The bouncer just went, you know, easy, didn't do anything. And then the guy backed up, then he came in, and then, you know, then finally when the bouncer did come at him, he didn't move back. He didn't get out of range. He's right there where the guy can punch him. I mean, you know, that's just stupid. But if you don't want to get wet, yeah, during Songkran, you stay at home. I didn't get wet one time. Now, last year I did, because I went out and I wanted to experience it a little bit. I just went with my wife and, you know, my kids. Okay, fine. This year I went, I'm not going anywhere. It was good. My arm was messed up, but that's not why I didn't go out. I didn't go out just because I didn't feel like taking part in it. I've done it many, many times. I don't need to do it like, oh, I get to experience Songkran, and, you know, it's so fun. No, I don't feel that way. Really, I don't feel like I got to go out for Songkran to feel like I'm going to have a great time. So I didn't go out. Now, when I did go out, there were a couple people on the sides of the road, and I thought to myself, if I get sprayed or I get shot with a water gun or something, I'm not going to be pissed. You can't get pissed anymore. That is their tradition. It's not going away, and if you don't like it, then you shouldn't be in Thailand at that time. You should get out and go somewhere else. How simple is it? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand. Hey, the Songkran festival goes on from this time to this time. I don't want to get wet. Oh, I better not go out. Oh, I will go in a taxi. You get a grab and you go from door to door. And generally, you don't get wet. Now, it used to be, I can still remember coming into Starbucks, and all the girls had water guns, and they would squirt me with water, and I'd get wet. Now, am I going to get pissed at them? Why? All right, so this guy, he ended up getting beat up. But what he did was he drove by, they drenched him anyway. All right, you know, that sucks. I understand that. But he stopped the motorcycle and went back to the group of them and started shit with them. And he started the fight because he went back to them. He should have just kept going. And they beat the piss out of him. And then they left. And nobody ever got charged with anything. Now, it says here, investigators will review nearby CCTV footage to identify the suspects and take legal action against those responsible for the assault. Good luck. That's all I got to say. Good luck. All right, is that it? Let me see here. Songkran was going on long before us, and it will be going on long after us. And, you know, it's just part of, you know, the thing is that now, I really do. I know people don't always like it and they don't agree with it, and they think, oh, you're just, you're being a pussy and all of a sudden. To me, everything is mipe and rhyme. Unless there are, if my life is on the line, or unless somebody is going to completely screw me out of a large sum of money or put me in a really, really bad position. I mean, like a terrible position where I might get kicked out of the country or something. I'm not saying anything. Because what does it matter? It doesn't matter. Most stuff doesn't matter. If they get you wet, okay, so you get wet. Big deal. So the bouncer went up to him in the end and hit him, not when the other guy was in his face. He did a poor job. The bouncer shouldn't walk to him to fight. Well, the guy prompted him many, many times to come on, come fight me, come fight me. Finally, the guy goes, all right, fuck it. He went out into the street. You want to fight? Yes. Boom, hit him. He went down. That's it. Then a bunch of other people jumped on him. I don't agree with that, but, and yeah, violence is stupid. I understand that, and there's a lot of people that in my life I haven't liked, and they probably haven't liked me. I'm sure there's people that don't like me. And so then you don't have to be around them. I mean, at this point in my life, I don't have to be around anybody if I don't want to be. I just stay away. I met two people in about the last year. Both Thais. One was a Thai guy that I worked with sometimes in boxing, and when I was a journalist. And I always thought that his opinion of me was, oh, Scott's always getting in the middle of things. He's always, trying to get the best deal and trying to screw over people, which I never did, but okay. I always thought that he kind of thought that way. No, he didn't think that way. I see the guy in the mall a while ago. He comes up and goes, hey, how you doing? My friend, long time, I don't see you. Oh my God. We were like, and I was like, holy shit, man. Here I am thinking this guy gives a shit. He don't give a shit. All he cares about is, going home to his wife and his family, and, that's all he cared about. I saw another Filipino a little while ago. I'm walking along, he goes, Scott. I was like, oh, and I remember the guy, and I go, hey, he has a gym over by where my kids used to go to school. I started talking to him. Now, I never had a beef with him. Everything was cool. And then there was another guy that I knew from the United States. I'm walking along, going up the escalator, and he sees me. I talked about this a little bit a couple of months ago. He sees me, and I go, oh, shit. I go, hey, what's going on? I come out, I meet with him again. So, I don't know. I think the guy came back to Thailand. He's living in Thailand now. He's got a Thai wife who's in the United States. It seems this happens sometimes. And, she'll come over here later or whatever. But, I've known this guy for like 40 years. Long time I've known this guy. He owned two Thai restaurants in the United States. Anyway, all right, let me get to this shit, man. I'm off the rails here. I understand that. Now oh, and by the way, there was a Swedish guy. I don't know what he was doing, but the people at the airport, I guess the dogs found that his baggage had some kind of explosive precursors on the bag, and he abandoned that bag. So they're like, well, what's going on with you? Now they let him go, but they're wondering, well, why do they have this? Why do you have bomb stuff that's used to make bombs on your baggage? Why is it there? And he couldn't explain it, but they let him go. But they're watching him, apparently. And the canines were the one who found it, and they are not usually wrong. They detect traces of a volatile explosive precursor. Okay, anyway, that's one thing. One other thing, don't forget that on May 1st, starting May 1st, every time you're going to come to Thailand, you have to go online And you have to fill out a form, just like the TM6 in the old days. Now, where is that article? I don't know where it is. But if you know what a TM6 is, it's the paperwork that you fill out. You used to fill it out on the plane. You fill out your name, your address, and blah, blah, blah. You know, what's the address in Thailand that you're going to stay? And they asked for income, and I never filled it out, but they didn't really care about that. But you'd have to fill out a form. Well, now you must fill that form out within 3 days of when you're leaving. That is mandatory. However, now, where is that article? Because I saw it, and is this it? Yes, here we go. All right, here we are. Let's see here. A digital arrival card, TDAC, risks some teething issues. So in other words, there's going to be a few problems if I can get this thing to load, which is always a problem. Right when I need it, you know, it's not available. Well, as soon as it loads, I'll get to it. But we're going to talk about the top countries to call home. And there's only 7 of them. The only thing I'm confused about is how soon we can fill it out, meaning we can fill it out several months. No. Within 3 days, up to 3 days before you're leaving. So, you know, feasibly, you could fill it out the day you're leaving. You're at your house, you're getting ready to leave, you fill everything out, you print out what you need to print out. I went to their website, and supposedly it's working now and everything seems good. And then you have to print out a form that they tell you to print out, and then you bring that form with you. Now, they did say we are not going to, let me look at this here. It's a pretty interesting paragraph, because it talks about how what about if people don't have a phone? Because they're talking about all these other countries, and Philippines and Cambodia and blah, blah, blah. Let me see here. The option of listing your home country as Thailand will be available on the final version. Form health declaration will require applicants to answer careful personal blah, blah, blah. It should be noted that TDAC registrations cannot be processed more than 72 hours ahead of travel. The email reply and confirmation should be received within hours. So it's not going to be automatic immediately. But I was looking for this little paragraph where they said, yeah, this must be up here. Oh, it must be 10 o'clock. Thailand is likely to face the same issues as the Philippines and Cambodia, and has wisely not instructed airlines to ban from boarding passengers without their QR code. In other words, at least for now, those without a mobile phone or unable to submit the TDAC will not be barred from entering. However, delays at immigration entry points are inevitable for defaulters. So there you go. Yeah. What was that? I don't know what you're saying here. Well, I saw it where it says that they brought the dogs in and the dogs found it too, so I don't know. I met with immigration agent a few days ago. Even if you have a multiple entry visa, this is still a requirement. Yeah, it has nothing to do with your... has nothing to do. It's just like the TM6. It's so simple. Think of this as a TM6, but it's online. And the TM6 is when you used to come to Thailand, you know, I think they stopped it for about a year and a half or two. If you were coming to Thailand You're sitting on the plane. When they say, okay, we're going to be landing soon, they would walk around and give you a paper. It was a two-sided paper. It was perforated in the middle. You filled it out. You didn't fill out one side. That was the departure card. You filled that paper out. You gave it to immigration officer along with your ticket stub and your... No, that's not a TM30, Jim. It's a TM6, believe me. I mean, even entry, there's still a requirement, not if leaving the country and returning. That, I don't know what you're talking about with that. I'm talking about when you enter the country, you need to fill this out online. That is a TM6. You may be talking of a TM30, I don't know. However, what I thought was interesting that they said it's no issue either, but it's a little bit different, and it's a little bit, to me, it's more of a pain in the ass because you have to remember to go online. They are assuming you have some kind of online presence, as most people do, and then you have to fill everything out online, and then you'll get it that way. Now, it seems to me that when you're on the plane, you're sitting there, they give you the paper, you fill it out real quick, you give it to immigration. What's the problem? Well, they're saying this is done beforehand so that everything is set up beforehand so it makes things faster when you get there. I don't know if that's true or not. It may be true, you know, but the TM6 was not difficult at all. And quite frankly, the TM30 is a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. The 90-day report is a pain in the ass. You know, there are some things that are a pain in the ass in Thailand, but you know what? You do them and you get past it. I mean, I look at it like I have a good time most of the time in my life here. I have nothing to worry about, nothing to think about. I don't really worry about it. And if you do, then most of the time, it's not a big deal. You can fill it out. It's very simple. You just go to the immigration website and basically immigration.go.th, and if you really want to get to it, all you have to do is type in tdac.immigration.go.th, and it brings you right to the page. It's very simple because I looked at it yesterday. I was checking it out. Very, very easy. All right. Now let's get to this. Top countries. Top countries where people want to live. And I always take these with a grain of salt because I kind of wonder, oh, is Thailand? Do people not want to live in Thailand? Do they not want to live in Vietnam? Do they not want to live in Ecuador? Where do they want to live? Well, here I'm going to tell you where they want to live. Number 1, Germany. Engineered for structure, access, and long-term family stability. Tuition-free public universities, even for foreigners. Strong vocational training system, multilingual high school options. Healthcare, universal healthcare accessible to residents and legal expats. Safety, low violent crime, safe cities and towns. Cost of living, moderate. They consider it moderate. Lower education-related expenses due to tuition-free system. Okay. Not everybody has kids or wants to go to school, so... family policies, Kindergeld child benefits, generous maternity, paternity leave, subsidized child care. Listen, what they have in Germany for child care, paid parental leave is 58.6 weeks. Means you get more than a year off. That's crazy, and it's paid. Quality of life, excellent infrastructure, green spaces, strong public transport, expat outlook, welcoming to EU and skilled workers, language learning helps with integration. So you need to learn how to speak German. Students gain access to most EU universities at domestic rates through reciprocal agreements. Oh, by the way, I haven't sent anything yet today, but please leave a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. If you like this stream, if you like these videos that I put up, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified. If you want, you can send a super chat. You can sign up for the website, for the channel. You can be a VIP member of the channel for as little as $1.99. You just hit the join button below the video description, or you can use whatever you want to make a payment. If you want to email me with a question or a Dear Scott type letter, or you want a consultation, the email address is anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. So that would help me a little bit, and I appreciate that. But a thumbs up is free, and I really appreciate that. So there you go. Now let me take a look at this here. Number 2. I don't know what it is. I mean, I just don't want to live here. Canada. Welcoming, safe, and built for long-term opportunity. You know, I know a lot of Canadians, and most of them are pretty nice. And really nice. But I don't know why I don't want to live there. I just don't. Maybe it's too close to America. I don't know. Strong public schools, top universities, high international enrollment. Healthcare, universal healthcare, children covered at no cost. Okay, well, what about adults? Safety, among the safest in the world. Stable political climate. Well, not when Trudeau was taking care of things. Cost of living, high in big cities, moderate to low in smaller metros like Halifax or Winnipeg. You know, the last time I went, I think I went to Vancouver. And Vancouver was very, very nice. But it wasn't dirt cheap, but I wasn't there to spend a whole lot of money. You know, I might have spent some money on food and stuff like that. That was it. I had a place to stay. That was good. Family policies, paid parental leave. Canada child benefits subsidized, daycare expanding nationally. Quality of life, clean environment, strong public services, family-focused culture. I don't know, you know. I don't know about that family-focused culture. I like my kids going out and doing things with other people, and we do things as a family. But you know what? I think our family is kind of private. We like it that way. I don't know why, but Expat Outlook, highly accessible via education, skilled migration, and family sponsorship pathways. Unexpected stat, over 20% of students at Canada's universities are international, and many become permanent residents. The paid parental leave is 50 weeks. Annual public education spending per student, $13,200. The health expenditure per capita is $5,740. Child benefit per year per child, $4,868. All right, number 3, the Netherlands. I love the Netherlands. However, the last time when I was in Amsterdam, I didn't love it as much. It just wasn't as good. I mean, you know, maybe when you're younger and you're traveling and you're like, oh, wow, man, I'm in the Netherlands. But I mean, I went there like 7 times to the Netherlands. And I liked it there. But I went down to the south most of the time. I was in Breda. I went to Utrecht. I went to Rotterdam. But most of the time I spent in Breda, and I really liked Breda. It was in the south, and a very cool place, and cheaper than Amsterdam. It says efficient, bilingual, and one of the happiest places for kids. Okay. High quality, bilingual, and international schools, excellent universities, strong vocational and academic options. Mandatory insurance, highly ranked, English-speaking providers widely available. Very low crime rates, excellent child safety record. The cost of living is high in Amsterdam, moderate elsewhere. Housing can be competitive. All right, that's what I found. Cost of living in Amsterdam was outrageous. I mean, you know, just. But I do like their French fries that you eat with mayonnaise. Man, they're freaking good. Family policies, paid leave, child benefits, excellent early childhood programs, quality of life, bike-friendly cities. Most people know that about Amsterdam. Compact living, widespread green spaces. I mean, it is a small country. So, you know. Expat outlook, very expat-friendly, strong international community, many services in English. All right, they get a half a year of paid parental leave. Yeah. So I don't know what they're talking about when it comes to that. Yeah. Anyway. Cultural bonus, Dutch students often commute independently by bike as young as 10. Okay, oh, thank you for becoming a member, whoever that was. Let me see here. Raymond, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Well, the last time you went, you took baggage. You weren't single. No, I wasn't. I remember going there, and it was the Dutch Gilder, and we got like a tray of Orange Boom beer, and it was like, you know, there'd be 20 people in the bar, and you know, you buy one round for somebody, and then, you know, everybody in the bar would buy everybody in the bar, and then the next thing you know, the whole bar was just smashed. You know, it was great. My God. All right, so let's see here. That was Amsterdam. I love Amsterdam. Now here's another one, and this is Australia. A fusion of lifestyle, education, and expat accessibility. You know, I've never been there, and I don't know why it is, but I don't have this like pressing urge to go to Australia. Like, oh, put another shrimp on the Barbie. And we got a lot of Australians here, and I know that. And I'm not saying I wouldn't go, but I just think that, oh, it's a continent. It's not just a country, it's a continent. And if you want to see a lot of places in the continent, I'm sure a lot of them are very different from one another, then you're going to have to take some time and moolah. And I don't know. I don't know what effect it would have on me. You know, I mean, maybe I would go there for 2 months and I'd be like, oh my God, I love this place. I want to move here. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, the education system, strong public-private options, global universities, international student pathways to PR. Universal health care via Medicare, private insurance options available, low crime rates, safe for kids and newcomers. The cost of living is high in Sydney and Melbourne, more affordable in Brisbane, Adelaide, and Hobart. Family policies, paid parental leave, child care subsidies, family migration visas. I need my glasses, man. My eyes are that bad. Quality of life, warm climate, outdoor lifestyle, work-life balance prioritized. Expat outlook, high integration for skilled workers, students, and families. Outdoor time among Aussie children is among the highest in developed nations, linked to better mental health. They have 18 months paid parental leave, which is getting down to the number of weeks that to me is not all that much. If you're a parent, I think 26 is probably the minimum that you want. But, and you know, the other thing, and I know it's a long shot, but you're going swimming out in the ocean. I don't want to be shark bait. I don't want to get eaten by a great white. And you know how you don't get eaten by a great white? You don't go in the water where they are, which means you go into swimming pools. I'm kind of like that now. But it was fun. Yeah, I've been to the Netherlands. Where else have I been? Have I been anywhere else? Netherlands. Been to Canada. I was supposed to go to Germany. I didn't go there. We were supposed to have a fight in Germany, and then the guy backed out of the fight, and that was it. Number 5, Singapore, which I have been to many, many times. Discipline, excellence in a clean, secure city-state. Listen, I don't want to live in Singapore. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about anything else. But what I do know is that if you want to go there and go shopping, you want to go hang out in the casinos or something like that, all right, great. But after a while, you know, it's like, oh, well, let's go to a new place to eat today. You know, I don't know. It's just, the whole atmosphere in Singapore is a little too business-like for me. And I'm not in that frame of mind right now. Education, globally top-ranked schools, bilingual curriculum, strong STEM focus, elite universities. I know it's a good place for people to live if they want to live there. Affordable, world-class public system for healthcare with private options. Extremely low crime, ranked among safest cities in the world. The cost of living is high for housing and education, strong value for quality. Listen, you want to get a car there, that's a pain in the ass. Major pain in the ass. Family policies, baby bonus incentive, school subsidies, government-built family housing. Those are not that great, but immaculate urban planning, great public transport. It is very, very good there, the public transport, but so is Thailand's for the most part. Green city initiatives, expat outlook, very expat-friendly, large international population. English is an official language. Future forward stat, Singapore is a pioneering national AI education. Is pioneering national AI education at all school levels to prepare a future-ready workforce. Parental leave is 20 weeks. It's not that bad, really. 4.5 months. So, all right, say what you will about Singapore. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I guess in the right circumstance, I would give it a try. But I'm in a different position than some people in life, and therefore, I don't really think I want to live there. Number 6, Sweden. Speckens is Swedish. Social equality, stunning nature, and effortless family support. Let me tell you, there used to be a time when I had a little brief fling with a Swedish au pair many years ago. God, how many years was that? 32, 33, 34 years ago. They were from Malmo, her and her girlfriends. And I don't know what happened, but it was nice. And I always said, oh, I want to go there, you know. Now I'm like, I don't know, I want to go there. Social equality, stunning nature, effortless family support, education, free public schools and universities, that's great. Emphasis on critical thinking and balance, that's very good. Healthcare, universal access, high quality maternal and pediatric care, safety, generally safe, strong rule of law and trust in public institutions. That's pretty damn good. You can trust the people trust the government. Although maybe they shouldn't sometimes, but cost of living, high taxes but offset by free education, healthcare, and childcare. That's pretty damn good, man. You know, you don't have to pay for your education, your healthcare, or your childcare. I do like that. Family policies, world-leading paid leave, 480 days split between parents, subsidized daycare. 480 days, Jesus, that's huge. Quality of life, abundant nature, clean cities, pro-environment policies, expat outlook, friendly for EU and skilled migrants, English widely spoken. Well-being edge, Sweden ranks among the top globally for family happiness and work-life satisfaction, not just policy on paper. Now, 68.5 weeks of paid parental leave. That's huge. Health expenditure per capita, $6,011. Annual public education spending per student, $11,250. Population using public transport, 25%. That's pretty damn good. I mean, you know, from the sound of things, it seems really good. I just don't know if I'd like it there. Maybe you guys would like it. Some of you guys might like it. Maybe you already are there, or you've went there and you really liked it. I don't know. I haven't been to Sweden, and while there is part of me that is, you know, I know there's a lot of migrants there, and they've had problems with them and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of good things that come out of there. And same like Denmark. Sweden or Denmark, I mean, I personally think I would rather go to Denmark than Sweden. And Finland and Norway, I think I'd pass on. No offense. Number 7, Portugal. I love Portugal, and I have been there. Affordable comfort, expanding access, and family-first living. I did like going there, and I liked what we did. I mean, it was like we brought the kids with us, and well, they're not little kids. You know, I think they were 19 and 21 when we were there. And I mean, you know, we all went out. Everybody was treated as an adult. It was very nice. Education, free public schools, affordable universities, strong international school presence in Lisbon and Porto. Healthcare, universal public system, SNS, affordable private insurance for expats. Safety, among Europe's safest countries, very low violent crime. Well, that's always good. And I think Thailand, for the most part, is very safe until you start making problems with people. So I don't know how that ranks. I don't know how Thailand's safety ranks, but, and I know there are some violent crimes, but to my knowledge, most of the violent crimes are committed against other Thais. In some places, in tourist zones, in like Koh Tao and some of these other places, yeah, okay, every once in a great while, you hear about something that happened to a foreigner. And in Pattaya, you know, things happen to foreigners. I don't know, how do you factor those in with, you know, like just like a guy like me? I mean, I've never had a crime committed against me. I think somebody stole a girl stole a camera from me once. But other than that, I haven't really had any kind of major issues. Healthcare, okay, safety, cost of living, lower than most of Western Europe. Family housing and essentials are affordable. Family policies, up to 36 weeks paid parental leave, child care subsidies, and early education access. Quality of life. Mild climate, walkable cities. Yeah, they are. Strong work-life balance culture. Welcoming visa pathways. English spoken in major cities. In Portugal, they have a D7 visa, which is just under, you need to have rental income, dividend, investments, or pensions that add up to approximately $1,000, just under $1,000 a month. That's all you have to have is $1,000 a month, and you can move there. Financial requirements, in addition to minimum income thresholds, consider the following initial costs. Flight tickets to Portugal, okay. Initial rent security deposit, often 2 to 3 months rent up front. Visa application and SEF funds, 90 to 170 euro. Moving shipping costs, 2 to 5,000 in an international move, depending on volume and distance, or maybe it's nothing. Private health insurance, first year, 500 to 1,200 euro. Planning ahead, especially regarding documentation, finances, and visa choice, can make your transition to Portugal much smoother. All right, so let me see here. The fast-growing trend. Portugal now ranks among the world's top 5 expat family destinations for lifestyle and affordability. You get up to 36 weeks paid parental leave. Child benefit per year per child, $1,220. That's about $100 a month. Population using public transport, 21%. And I loved Portugal. I thought it was fantastic. And going to some cheaper cities, I probably would love it even more. And I always say this, but The coffee there was fantastic. And it was like 50 cents. I mean, it was dirt cheap. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. It's a city-state. Just to get out of work and then pay a babysitter. You go pay a babysitter and go party all day long. Singapore is considered a city-state. Anyway, that's 7 places. All right. Whether you're driven by educational opportunity, healthcare access, long-term affordability, or all of the above, the best countries for families are those that align with your values and long-term goals. The right nation won't help your children succeed academically, but it will support them and you as builders of a lasting legacy, so to speak. Now, I don't know if I agree with these. I should put together my own list. And I don't know how really how well informed I would be, but I'd have to take it. I was going to do something on Numbeo, comparing the cost of living in different places to see, you know, if you want to compare Thailand to Ecuador to Ukraine to, although I wouldn't want to live there now, to some other places, Costa Rica, wherever it is, you can do so. And then you just kind of figure it out, and you figure out, okay, if you want to do it for money, which is not the smartest way, quite frankly. Money is not the only issue. Are these the places people travel to? If not, how do people know they want to live there? Well, that's why they're telling you that. This comes from the World Population Review. Where families thrive, top countries to call home. Explore where safety, schooling, and stability shape family futures. So that's what that is for. However, I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't agree with everything on there. I've heard a lot of good things about Australia, though, really. And, you know, I do think that it probably belongs on the list. So, but I also know that there are a lot of other places that I think, given the fact that if you have a certain amount, you know, like, okay, if you have $5,000 a month, which is not really all that much for most people. You figure if the husband's getting $3,000 from a pension or something like that, if he was making decent money, now he's getting $3,000 for a pension. The wife's getting $2,000 for a pension. You got $5,000. So where can you live? Where can you live for like $5,000? Not just where can you live for a grand. I know there are places in Thailand you can live for $1,000. I know there are places that you can live in Laos for $1,000. I know there are places in different countries where you can live for $1,000. But you got to watch your money. You know, you got to keep. I mean, you got to be smart about your money. When you have a lot of money, unless you're pissing the money away frivolously, you know, you're giving people huge tips and, you know, you're paying for stuff you don't need to pay for. Let me tell you something. I tried to give a guy yesterday a 30 baht tip. I gave him 70 baht, but it was 70 baht. I gave him 100 baht. I go, here you go. I go, you keep it, you keep it. He goes, nope, 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 nope. He gave me back the 30 baht. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, I guess. He's like, no, I don't want your money. I was like, holy shit. So, you know, all this stuff about the poor Thais, take it with a grain of salt. Yes, there's poor Thais. There are many people who, they need help. But you know, you think about the lines, yeah, kumbaya, you know, everybody clapped their hands and all that good stuff. You think about the lines here at Pacamara. You think about the lines at Cafe Amazon and how many people are sick. All right, a lot more people go to Cafe Amazon than come here. But believe me, in another couple hours, this place will be jam-packed with people. There'll be no place to sit, or only 2 or 3 places where you can sit down. Now, how do they have money for this? They're going in debt? Well, some of them might go in debt for certain things, of course, but people go into debt all over the world, and that's not an excuse. Most Americans are in debt. They owe for their car, they owe for their house, they owe for all kinds of things. So, anyway, that's all I have today. There's all kinds of stuff going on. This is the one about the bouncer. Oh yeah, there was a German couple that got hit by a pickup truck at a zebra crossing while pushing a stroller in Khao. Crazy. That's why when you cross the street in Thailand, you better look both ways. Look left, look right, or look right, look right, look left, look right, look left again. Make sure that nobody's coming. Because a lot of times they're not going to slow down for you, and that's just this case. You look down and out. Yeah, I feel down and out right now. I would have gave it back too. No, but I feel down and out. I really do feel down and out, man. I mean, I don't feel down and out about my life, but god damn it, you know, I looked at myself yesterday and I go, I'm losing muscle tone. And I'm like, well, maybe I got to go to the gym and just work out with my left arm. Then I'll build my right arm back up when I can use it again. And I'm like, come on. I don't want to do that. You know, my legs, I can walk. That's fine. But, you know, it's kind of depressing. I'm like, I hate to say it. And you're what, 51? You wait until you hit, say, 60, 62. And you notice that your body, no matter what, it's just not responding the way it used to. You know, and I mean, I have a good time. I mean, me and my wife laugh all the time. The kids, you know, they're great. You know, but I look at my wife yesterday was going, "You're an old man. Face it, you're an old man." And I'm like, "Shut up. I don't need you to tell me I'm an old man. I know I'm an old man already." You know? And that's the thing. I look at some guys, you know, this is what's scary to me. I look at some guys and they're like 68 years old. And I'm like, oh God, that poor bastard. He's in bad shape. And I'm like, well, you know, I got another 5 years and maybe that'll be me. I don't know, you know. I mean, at least I'm aware of it. At least I can do something about it. I mean, Jono is 70 and he looks pretty good. I mean, you know, he's an old fucker, but he looks good, you know. Anyway, that's the way it goes. That's what happens in life. You get old and then you die. You're a little kid and you're like, oh, he's so cute. Everybody loves you. And you're like, oh, you know, or you're like the pesky little kid. But most people look at you and you go, oh, he's such a cute little boy. And then you hit a certain point and you stop being cute. And they start going, all right, so what are you doing? I told my kids, I said, listen, you know, you guys have the opportunity. You can get a good job. You can make good money. And you can get yourself a nice looking girl, you know, good girl. Don't make them a priority. They already know that. They learned that stuff long ago. You know, shaved my head with a number 4 today. Hadn't cut it since the first week of December in Prakanong. Oh, God. You use a number 4. I use a 0. Actually, today, you know, I've been just lazy. I haven't shaved my head in the last week or so. So I have my little razor. I'm going to tell Alex, shave it. However, Nicholas has been getting his head shaved with a 1. So he's going to get his head shaved today with a 1. So there you go. Anyway, oh God. I think I'll probably stream again on Friday. I don't know. I want to keep it to like once or twice a week. I think this week was a little bit more, but quite frankly, I don't always have the energy to do these. Well, if you get old, you made it. I'm not there yet. No, but you'll be there before you know it. You will be. I guarantee you. You'll get there and you go, what the fuck happened? You know. Shave my head all the time. It's the hair growing from the ears. You know. I get the razor. Shave right here. That's where the hair grows, right here. Or I get the little shaver I have, and I just shave it off. You know, rotator cuff injury. But the ears are not that bad. For me, it's the eyebrows. Right here, they get a little bit. They get a little bit too long. But fortunately, I got some pain medicine yesterday, so that's a good thing. But you know, now I'm like, you know, I was looking it up, and these injuries can take at least 3 to 6 months to get better. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I didn't even do anything. It wasn't like I punched a guy, or I was, you know, sparring, or I was doing something like that I used to do. I wasn't doing anything like that. It was that the motorcycle almost fell over on me and I kind of just jumped off of it a little bit. Didn't feel like I was throwing my arm out or anything like that. Didn't think anything happened. And the next thing I know, I'm like, God damn, that hurts. And here I am. Yeah, well, then you're a kid then. You're a kid. I mean, all I would say is keep yourself in pristine condition until you get older, and that way you'll hold up a little bit better. And I've held up pretty good, but now it's getting harder. It's getting much harder, and I have to watch what I eat. I mean, you know, every day I come in here and I see some of these and I go, well, today maybe I'll have one of these raspberry little cakes, and I go, nah, I can't eat it. And I'll go, oh, maybe I'll have one of these croissants with lemon on it. And I'm like, no, it's got too much sugar. I can't eat it. No, I can't have it. Tom is, you know, he's just like me. He's happy to be above ground. You know, I mean, he's a decent guy, but he's like, I got to work on my brother's website. So he works on his brother's website. He gets it all finished, and I'm like, now what? He's like, I don't know. I got to look for another project. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at now. Once that Social Security hits, baby, you know, I mean, you know, I don't have to work if I don't want to. I don't have to do anything. But then I'm like, so what are you going to do with yourself? What are you going to do? You're just going to sit on the couch all day? Every day? Can't do that. Can't be a couch potato. Yeah, then I thought about, oh, I'll go kayaking. Oh, wait a minute, my arm. Oh, well, I'll go here, I'll go there, you know. I don't know. I don't think about Tom all that much, to be honest. I mean, I try not to. I talk to him a couple times a week. He comes here, I talk to him, and that's it. You know, he's a decent guy and everything, and he has his way of doing things, and I got my way of doing things. Looks like it's going to rain now, which that's what's forecast for the upcoming week. Clouds, rain, a lot of heat. Listen, if Tom doesn't want to trim his eyebrows, he doesn't have to. It's all up to him. Everything up to you. And that's kind of how I look at it now. And, you know, the thing is if I was 20 years old, or I was 30 years old coming here, it would be much different for me. I would feel a lot different. I mean, you know, you don't see many 65-year-olds hanging out in the bar, chasing girls in go-go bars. The ones that you do see, they're few and far between. Or they're just sitting on a bar stool all day, and, you know, they're playing grab ass with the girls. I don't want to be that guy, you know. I haven't been that guy in many, many years, you know, so That's a regression. Listen, I thought about getting a futon, but I don't know that there's any futons in Thailand. They don't believe in them. I don't get it. That way I could just pull out my sofa from the front room and just go, I'm going to sleep right here. I'm not moving. You know? Anyway. What is this BMW here? Oh, this is the BMW. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. This is something you should think of. And this kind of irritates me. BMW driver cuts off pickup, injures 2 people in Pattaya Thani. Son of local politician under fire. This guy just totally pulled out in front of, well, you lay down on a futon. For me, that's what I do. I lay down on one. I used to have one. And I loved it because I could just lay down on it. I just pull it out, boom, lay down. You know. Anyway, this guy pulled out in front of a truck with 2 older people in it. He's the guy's 28 years old. He's the son of a politician. The 2 people were hospitalized in the accident, and you know they have the video. The guy just pulled right in front of them, and they haven't gone and got him. They haven't, you know, they're like, oh well, we're going to investigate this, and that kind of shit just pisses me off. I mean, you know, I just go, what are they doing here? You know, but at the end of the day, I'm glad it's not me. You know? Initial reports framed the case as a simple traffic accident, but the release of the video evidence led highway police to reclassify the incident as potentially criminal. Well, it was criminal. Plain and simple. But the alcohol results were negative, apparently. He claimed the pickup had cut him off, but the footage showed him pursuing and appearing to repeatedly swerve at the vehicle before forcing it off course. All right, I don't want to say anything more about this because this is this is the kind of thing that happens here, and then people don't like it, and I think it's just, this is one of the negatives. All right. Order one from Lazada. Order one what? Oh, futon? I don't know. I don't think they have. Well, I've been using Shopee more than Lazada. I have a couple things coming. Yesterday I got my pain bills, which is good. And I thought I was okay. I thought I was all right. I thought, oh wow, my arm is healing. It's not healing, man. Yeah, IKEA might have one. I might have to go there. Yeah, he slammed into him. Yeah, this is what I mean. And like nothing happened. They should be at that guy's place right now, but they give him leeway because he's a politician's son. Oh, I got a patch on here too. I got a tiger balm, 2 tiger balm patches on my shoulder. The grandpa's in ICU. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that. Well, that sucks, man. I order a lot from Shopee. What do I have coming from there? Oh, you know what I got coming is a mat from my office, because the floor is made up of wood and in little pieces, and the wood's starting to break apart. So if I put the mat down, it won't break apart so easily. Pain in the ass, but anyway. Complain, complain, complain. Whine, whine, whine. Ugh. But it's another beautiful day here. Overcast, cloudy day. Looks like rain today. And if it rains, it rains. That's fine. I'll be staying inside, chilling today, not moving my arm. That's what my wife says. You need to rest your arm. Don't move it. I'm sure they're out there. I put the futon in my office. That's what I should do. Put the futon in my office. I go, leave me alone. I'm going to go sleep on the futon. You know, I can just put a cot in there. A little fold-out cot. Leave me alone. Let me put my headphones on. Boom, I'm going to sleep. You know? Anyway. We got anything else to talk about? Oh, this sucks sleeping. Sid and Nancy. Fucking, my wife is talking to Sid and Nancy like they're real people, and my wife is like a cat lady now. She drives me up the wall. I'm like, shut up. The cats don't understand you. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I'm anxious to see that. Let's see if they follow up on it. You know? I mean, sometimes they follow up, sometimes they don't. I do need a shoulder harness, not an arm one. I need one that keeps my shoulder in place right here. Last night I took 2 Norgesic, and they knocked me out. But what happens is they knock me out, and I wake up in 3 hours. I gotta take a piss. I get up, I go back to sleep. I sleep for 3-4 hours. Then I'm like, well, I'm awake. I might as well take a piss. And then, you know, that's it. Yeah, they understand. They understand the sound. That's all they understand. They don't understand this word is this. No, they understand this sound means this. Go, go, go means, oh, I get to go out. And, you know, the thing is, I'm the first one who wakes up every day. So every time I go downstairs, every time I come, the cats stand next to me. They're rubbing on me. They want me to feed them, and it's irritating. I'm just not, and I don't have the patience for them. A dog would just kind of be like, look at you and be like, maybe he'd jump up and down for a second, then he'd lay next to you. He just want to be there. That's what they do with my wife, or with Alex. Actually, Nancy loves Alex. She loves Alex. She will go to Alex and purr, and he's got to pick her up and, you know, lay down on the sofa and, you know, just let her sit with him, and she loves that. She won't let anybody grab her other than that. Once in a while, my wife can pick her up, and that's it. I don't ever pick her up. She pissed me off the last time. She scratched the hell out of me. She bit me. She bit into my hand. I wish I had some of Carlos's patches. Let me tell you, those things would work. I don't get rid of the pain even with the pain pills I got. You know. And that buddy is coming from Cambodia. He's bringing me a little something. And I'm hoping they help. And my hands are swollen. They're really puffy. So, you know, it's what happens when you get old. You can get a lot of pain medicine over the counter here, but they made it illegal to get like Tylenol 3 or 4 with codeine or anything like that. But I mean, you know, I can get the stuff. You can get it. You just have to know where to go, and you have to pay, of course. And in Cambodia, they sell the stuff. They sell codeine, they sell morphine. But, you know, you need to know where to go. I mean, it's not like every single pharmacy is going to go, oh, yeah, I got morphine right here. No, they'll go in the back or something in a little special hiding place, and they'll get you the stuff that you want. You know. So. That's, I mean, you know, all I get here is the Tylenol 3s, and they're not that strong. But from Cambodia, I get it's 60 milligrams of codeine. So you take 2 of those, and it takes the edge off. I mean, you know, for sure. I'm not allergic to shellfish, no. Anyway. And I drink plenty of water, I can tell you that. In fact, I need to order some water today. That was what else I needed. Yeah, I've done that too. I've done those as well, and I don't want to now because if I'm taking paracetamol mixed with codeine, I don't need more paracetamol. It's not good for your liver. So anyway, whatever, you know. I mean, I'll get through it, and life goes on. This is the life and times of an American in Bangkok. And I've been doing this shit online for 12 years now. Not streaming, but online videos for more than 12 years now. 12 and a half, almost 12 and a half years. And that's what it is. You're putting your life out there, pretty much. I mean, you know, you see when I get my hip done. You see when I get my gallbladder taken out. You see when I'm getting my arm. My arm is all tweaked. All these kind of things. It's just part of life, you know. It happens. And, you know, I can sit and wallow in it as much as I want. But at the end of the day, I go, what is this helping? It's not helping anything. The only thing I look forward to is to where my arm feels better, to where I can use it in exercise and in doing things. But I have to just understand, maybe I can't do what I used to do. I can't do everything I used to do, and that's all there is to it. But I can start slow and do a little bit, and I can get back into it. So hopefully it's sooner than later. Anyway, that's all I have for today. So live free, stay smart, and do your expat life right. That's what you got to do. Jim, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it. Dale, Jimmy James, Beach Life, 2 Quarters Korean, of course, and everybody else here. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you, Jay Easy, Knock, everybody. I'm looking at some names now, but and Raymond, let me give a big thanks to Raymond again. Appreciate it. And I will talk to you all later, okay? That's all I got. Until next time, Chog Bileo, Jerken Mai. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. And that is all I have. So take care. Ugh.